She was drowning in debt. But when a silent farmer showed up, not only her land was saved, but her entire world was changed. The sun beat down on the cracked earth of rural Georgia as Lily Harper stood at the edge of her father's fading cornfield, her toddler clinging to her leg and a foreclosure notice clutched tightly in her trembling hands. A single gust of wind blew the dry dust into her eyes, but it wasn't the grit that made her cry, it was the reality. The bank had given her 30 days to pay the remaining loan, or the land that had been in her family for 4 generations would be auctioned off. Her husband, Dan, had passed away in a car accident just 10 months earlier. Since then, life had become a battle she fought with a smile, for her son, for her pride, and for the memory of the man she once loved. Everyone in town had offered sympathy, but no one had offered help. Not really. And what Lily needed now wasn't more casseroles or condolences. She needed a miracle. Or at least, a man. A husband. Even a fake one. You see, in the strange legalities of the local estate laws, there was a clause, a loophole. If she were married, her husband could co-sign to stop the foreclosure and take over the debt restructuring. Her late husband's name was on the original deed, and being a widow wasn't enough to navigate the bureaucracy without thousands in legal fees. Marriage was the shortcut she didn't want, but desperately needed. Lily had almost given up when she met him. He came out of nowhere, silent, rugged, dressed in worn boots and a flannel shirt that looked older than her son. He was tall, broad-shouldered, and rough-looking, like someone carved from the land itself. No one really knew his story. He had moved into an old farmhouse on the edge of town about a year ago. The townsfolk called him Cole the Quiet because he never talked much, just nodded or offered a soft "mornin'" when spoken to. She found him one morning standing at her fence line, staring at the sky. Maybe he was looking at the clouds. Or maybe he just sensed she needed someone. "Excuse me," Lily had said, her voice uncertain. "I need a favor. A strange one." He turned his head slowly, eyebrows raised. "I need a fake husband," she said before she could chicken out. He didn't laugh. He didn't mock. He just looked at her for a long, silent moment, and then nodded once. And just like that, Cole became her husband, on paper, at least. The arrangement was supposed to be simple. They'd sign the paperwork, keep it quiet, and once the land was saved, they'd annul it. No strings. No real marriage. Just a business deal built on desperation. But life, as always, had other plans. Living under the same roof for legal appearances, Lily saw sides of Cole she didn't expect. He wasn't just quiet, he was kind. Gentle with her son, Jamie, who clung to his leg like he had known him forever. He fixed broken fences without being asked, helped with the crops even when the sun burned his back, and brought her coffee every morning, just the way she liked it. He never told her much. Just that he had once lived a very different life. One he didn't want anymore. One night, when Lily asked why he was helping her, he simply said, "Because I know what it feels like to lose everything." And he did. She could see it in his eyes. The kind of pain that doesn't go away, only goes quiet. As the weeks passed, word spread that Lily's farm was back on its feet. People were shocked. Some even whispered she'd found a rich man to bail her out. She laughed at that. If they only knew. But one day, everything changed. The county hosted its annual harvest fair, and as tradition went, a charity auction was held, people bidding for dates with eligible singles. It was light-hearted fun. Cole, to everyone's surprise, was nominated. Lily didn't think much of it. She was tending a stall when suddenly the auctioneer paused and pointed toward the crowd. "We have an anonymous bid for Mr. Cole. $100,000. The crowd went silent. Cole, who never liked attention, stood still as stone. Then the bidder stepped forward. It was a woman in heels too high for farmland. Her name was Vanessa Marchand, a real estate mogul from the city. And she had a reason to know Cole. Because his full name wasn't just Cole. It was Cole Marchand, son of a millionaire, heir to a land development empire, and runaway from a life of lies and corruption. Lily's heart dropped. That night, she confronted him. "Why didn't you tell me who you were?" He looked down, hands in his pockets. "Because I didn't want to be that man anymore." "But you are," she whispered. "A millionaire pretending to be a farmer." "I didn't pretend to care about you." He told her everything. Years ago, Cole walked away from the Marchand fortune after his younger sister died from an overdose, something he blamed on the pressures of their world. He found no peace in riches, only noise. So he ran, from wealth, from fame, from guilt. And he found peace only when he worked the soil and kept to himself. But Lily had changed all that. She made him want to live again. Love again. Still, she was unsure. Was their bond real? Or had she just been a charity case to a runaway billionaire? Then, a week later, he made his final move. Lily woke up to find reporters at her gate. Cole had called a press conference, not to expose her, but to transfer the deed of her land to her name, fully paid off. No strings. No marriage needed. When asked why, he simply said, "Because she saved me long before I saved her." Lily cried for hours. But it wasn't until days later, when Cole quietly packed his things and began to leave, that she realized something deeper: he never wanted her land. He wanted her love. And he was willing to walk away just to protect it. "Cole," she called out as he reached the truck. He turned, eyes wet. "Stay," she whispered. "But not as a fake husband. As the man I've grown to love." Today, the farm thrives. Not because of money, but because of love. And in a world full of masks and false promises, a silent farmer and a broken widow prove that healing sometimes begins with the simplest things: trust, honesty, and a heart willing to love again.